Alright, we're gonna wait a few minutes to see who shows up. Hey, Cotorius Rex joined us on Instagram. I'm just checking all my settings for the Twitch and YouTube options. Okay. Give me a second. What's picking up my audio? Something's picking up my audio that's not my mic. Oh, I know what it is. Okay. Is that working? All right, that was really weird. So, people on Instagram cannot see this right now because they're using a different camera. I have a brand new camera. I'm actually using a Kinect. I'm using a Kinect camera, which gives me the option to now use my phone separately as a streaming device over on Instagram. With that being said, there was audio coming in, and it wasn't from my Yeti mic. I believe the Kinect was picking up audio. I don't know why. It shouldn't have. I want one device. I paid money for this mic. I'm going to use this mic. But if the Kinect doubles as a microphone, which I'm unaware of, because I just have the Xbox 360 Kinect. Someone gave it to me. I have no idea how it works aside from video. Anyway, everything's up and about the right way, the way it should be. We have music playing over on the Twitch and YouTube one, but I don't want to play it over the Instagram because I have no idea how Instagram will react to that. But who's over on Instagram? Our good friend Cotorius Rex. Cotorius Rex decided to join us there, and wasn't sure what to do today, so I ended up pulling out this old sketch. This drawing is just a series of random monster / deformity kind of creatures. This is like an old one. This is definitely from like high school. I could tell because of the way the way I simplified the torso, like the angular shapes. I miss drawing in this style, but as I got better at anatomy, I began leaning away from this angular style. I kind of need to get back in that in-between spot. But I just always like this kind of like mutation on an arm, as like venom sacs and like literal fangs for fingers. So I figured, why not just take this and let's do some inking and let's clean it up a little bit. Let's try and revisit some old drawings. So first things first, per usual. Let's make some layers. First layer is going to be a blue background, make it easier for us to tell what we're looking at. Yeah, okay. I'm also going to switch on my eye safety because we're just doing some inking, so we don't really need to worry about color tones just yet. It's a little tricky. I have like the phone camera, like the phone itself, just ahead of me, like right in front of my chest. You don't see it on the Instagram feed, but it's there. And right now I'm just, like I said, labeling those layers so you know what everything is. So, like pretty much the arm is the way I like it. We're just gonna get in there with some ink, with some pen, and like sharpen up the edges. We're gonna readjust the torso. I've always liked this drawing. It's not a small sketchbook. It's literally the size of like 4 by 6 inches. Small sketchbook. So I spent the day. I just realized I don't think I did my intro. Hey guys, it's Dante here. Welcome to another Sunday night stream. There we go. I spent the day, more or less, just some general housekeeping, everything from paying bills to I took out this foam wire cutter I have, and I'm so happy I bought it. It was like $30 from an art store, so I'm so happy I bought that sucker. And because the Kinect sits on a flat surface, it's meant to go like on top of a TV mantle or something, I don't know. But I needed a way to put it behind my computer screen because, it needs to be at face height, more or less. So using the foam cutter, I cut this unique shape, a pillar if you would, and then I gave it a flat top. So it's a curving pillar that more or less matches like the contours of the back of my computer monitor. And then I went and did a flat top on it, and now I have like a nice flat surface to put my Kinect camera, and it's working great. It's like it's out the way. It's not like gonna fall over if I sneeze or something. And because it's literally mounted to the back end of my computer screen, I can move my computer screen back, and it gives me space to like work. A bit of form and function, if that makes sense. Hope all of y'all are having a good day out there, out in the interwebs. There we go. Okay, now let's work on the grooves and stuff. Let's give him like, not so much scales, but like the skin is attempting to become scales. Like it's kind of creepy, bumpy-esque, really, really bumpy and stuff. Did I upload these? I mean, these are old drawings. They're probably on my, I'm pretty sure I have these, like, maybe on my DeviantArt page from, like, years ago. But definitely not recently. These are not like, recent uploads I would have done. Yeah, so once again, those on Instagram. Kratorius Rex has jumped ship, and he's replying to me over on the Twitch stream. So yes, these are, I have a whole series of sketchbooks over there, and I went through them and I was scanning pretty much as many of the sketches that kind of coincided with this particular story, this universe. This is from a horror story called The Key, which originally started off as a fanfic. It was a fanfic for Evil Dead. But I began developing the story so much and creating certain rules for the universe that just in the end it just evolved into its own thing altogether. With obvious references to, not references, but obvious inspiration to Evil Dead, John Carpenter's The Thing, which is based off the book Who Goes There? I think that's the book that actually Joe just, I think, showed me. He has a copy of that story, Who Goes There. That the original inspiration, I think, that's the original inspiration for The Thing, if I recall correctly. I'm sure he'll correct me if I'm wrong. So what bothers me is that I went through all the sketchbooks and I kind of flipped through them quickly. There is one that is just filled with like monster head drawings, just people who have been altered, and like just head drawings of like people with like multiple eyes and teeth where they shouldn't be. Really simple drawings, kind of like this actually. Definitely from this time frame of my life. In this kind of vein of just like, it looks kind of creepy. I couldn't find it. It's in one of the sketchbooks because I want to do a whole head sheet of just like random characters, not entire bodies, just all the heads, and I can't seem to find that one book, or I can't seem to find that one page in the books. So after doing another search one day, while I was doing that, I came across like a whole bunch of like Transformer concepts, nothing too like detailed, because once again I'm not that great at drawing mechanical stuff. Heck, not even that detailed in terms of like the transformation, because you all know how much I love planning out like how a certain toy works, but just characters and like just fun designs, like a car that becomes a bat, or like a bird that becomes a gorilla, like just weird designs like that. I found out, I just kept coming across them in the sketchbooks, so I should start scanning those as well. Just like a backlog of old ideas that are now digitized. That way I could start like, inking them like this. Just have like, I guess, artistic cannon fodder. Just this material to like do on these streams. So I mentioned earlier in the stream, like, hey, was that? How was it my voice was coming across, even though my microphone wasn't turned on? And when I looked during the loading screen process of the stream, was something like, so I when I was quickly looking through, I noticed it was reading as, audio input. When I selected it, it said default, and I'm like, that's not right. And once again, I think it's because the Xbox camera, it was defaulting to the Xbox camera, which I don't want to use as a mic. I mean, I spent money on the mic I have. Having this equipment around me might be better, but I don't know how good the Xbox mic really is. If that's what it was, once again, I have no idea why I was pulling audio from somewhere I didn't notice. We'll figure that out. This is definitely a drawing I'm going to do some nice messy cross hatching with. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that. So, while we're on the topic of creepy crawly stuff, such as what I'm drawing here, if you haven't already, please check out my YouTube channel, because I just uploaded a quick vid video where I quickly go through the entire process of me making a latex zombie head, and it's the same similar process you would use if you're doing a latex mask. Hey, Orc Punch has joined us over on Instagram. Good to see you, dude. I'm just sketching some old. I'm just inking some old sketches. Yeah, so check that out if you're so inclined. If you want to see some behind the scenes of how some of the projects I do, or some of the projects I'm working on. I've also been going through a lot of my older videos on YouTube and re-editing a few pieces. Well, not editing the video, rather I'm re-editing the settings. Remember that huge thing where everyone was trying to label their stuff as either for kids or for not for kids because they were panicking? I had to go back and fix a few things. I feel like just looking at this guy's arm, he definitely feels like a Left 4 Dead / Out for Blood kind of super mutant, someone who spits venom acid from his fingertips. He definitely has that kind of henchman kind of feel. So in the same time I did this hand, I did the giant swollen like meat hand with like the bird beak at the end of it, the kind of like claw hand. Same exact time I designed this guy. With that said, that's one of the first videos I did. One of the early videos I did on my YouTube channel was creating a giant foam and latex like monster arm, which I'm still very proud of. I have it actually hanging on the wall in the room behind me. And this is also another arm I wouldn't mind trying to make. I'm just a little mixed on how the well, let's be honest, the giant sacks, how the sacks might come out. Set back this finger by a pinch. Let's just do a new layer and fudge that a bit. You'd probably be right about there, so it'll be curving like that. And then erase that. And then merge the layers together. There we go. Joe, if you can, let me know how the audio is. Let me know if the music is too loud compared to my actual microphone. And yes, with hindsight, I'm aware of all the jokes that could come from him having big old sacks on his arms. So, you know, I'm not saying let's all be adults here because most of us aren't. We're all goofballs. I'm just saying that I'm aware of it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this main ink layer. Now I'll do the crosshatch in a separate layer. Alright, yeah, let me drop that, let me drop desktop. There you go, Streamlabs music. There we go. Because I'm listening to it in my earphones, so I can raise it as much as I want, but I'm not sure how it's coming across. I just loaded a little bit on that. Hello, go. Is that a bit better for you guys over on the mainstream? I keep leaning back to see if anyone's joining us on Instagram. Let's do top-down lighting. So, obviously. Nope, that's not like that. 0.3. there's a deselect. There is one of the new memes. It's funny. It's an old meme, but it's kind of making its rounds again. It's the image of hard to swallow pills, and it's referring to artists. What is a hard to swallow pill? And one guy wrote down, a hard to swallow pill is clean cross hatching in a in a perfect grid like this isn't needed. You could do messy cross hatching in different angles all you want, and it'll still look good. It just takes practice. And I was like, okay, I kind of accept that. I still try to keep it somewhat in a particular like direction. That's just my own mental, for my own mental sake I do that. So far I'm doing like the crevices all between, you get that nice hole, almost like holes in the skin, because you get all the heavy shadows of the tendrils. But I still need to put shading on the tendrils, which is a whole nother thing in itself. So as of right now, I'm really happy with the way it's coming out, because it definitely like accentuates. You know, these aren't veins, these are like tubes coming out of the guy's body. It definitely like accentuates that. I think when I go to do the cross hatching on the tubes themselves, I think I'll also do a separate layer for that. That way I could just, you know, erase one thing and not have to worry about the rest. I'm not gonna go too crazy on the main body. The main body is not the focus right now. Just want to focus on the just want to focus on the arm if I can. I say as I continuously shade in his pecs. Okay, enough of that, you know what, let's continue. Before I open the new layer, let's continue the shading on this. This is everything but the tubing. Like it's all like the flat. Oh, you know. Sorry, this is there's everything around the tubing. That's what focusing on. Like right in here, this little crevice right there. Crevasse. Like right here in the webbing itself. See race near the knuckles, that would the knuckles show. Once again, there are certain people. I say once again because I've said this like a number of times. The artist of the comic book Irma, who's like shading, in my opinion, it's like I think he still draws it by hand, but he inks it digitally, if I'm correct. His shading work, like his lights and darks, are like just freaking beautiful. All right. Call it shading 1 for now. Shade 1. Forgot the D. It was Sha 1. Now it's shade 1. Okay, now we're going to do a second layer. And see if we can bring up the tubing a little bit without ruining it. Hold up. Sorry. Where are we? I'm in Streamlabs right now. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There's chill. There's indie. Pause that. Synthwave. I know I saw you before. I need to change this music. This is not. Is it gone? It was here before. They had suspense. Oh, there it is. Suspenseful. There it is. I'm thinking the word creepy and I couldn't find it. Bam. Nope. This sounds a bit more action-packed, but suspenseful I think works better than what we were listening to. Yeah, they might not have creepy, but I'd rather have this than like I don't know whatever that guy was singing. No, thank you. Has a slight pop of girl theme to it. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I'm gonna merge. Now that I'm kind of happy with the shading stuff, I'm gonna merge these two shading layers together. I realize I have like several techniques I do when it comes to digital, especially digital. And one I kind of like is cross hatching with then maybe some flat shading. So it's cell shading, but with the cross hatching. I realize I kind of like the way that looks. You know, when I do this kind of inking you see here, it's definitely like quick, kind of messy inking. It's really chilled. You know, I don't know if I call it finish unless I'm aiming for this kind of style in general. It works. It works for like gritty, creepy stuff like monsters. It definitely works for that. Oh, thank you very much. I was told over on the chat the inking was spot on. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I kind of noticed that I kind of like doing the inking and then dropping in the darker tone beneath it. So it's like the cross hatching helps with the shading, or for a static color tone, if that makes sense. Like I feel if I was to do cross hatching, like this kind of cross hatching, and then try to blend the colors, I think it would kind of get like muddy. I remember seeing an artist online talk about that. How you know, unless you have in American comics, you have the inker, you have the colorist, you have the pencilist, you know the original artist who starts it all off, and it's like sometimes you get ones that just don't work well. You know, what's the point of having someone who does amazing color render if the guy inking it does really like heavy, you know, stylized inking? You sometimes have to choose one or the other. It's like I do things like you see right here, where the I'm putting dark color where there is, like right over here, right there, where I'm putting a darker tone where there is no um, cross hatching. So it kind of fills in the gap, if that makes sense. I don't know, just different techniques. Try them out if you like them. It's up to you. You know, this suspenseful soundtrack I chose, I switched over to, it's a bit much. Like I was just looking for something a little creepy and spooky. You know, this is like a really heavy soundtrack here. Let's get the eraser out. Clean up our edges. See how this first hand came out. Still gotta do a nice like off-white for the fangs, the finger fangs. I keep thinking of that Hanna-Barbera character called Fang Face. you'll be surprised how long it took me to start doing coloring on a base background. I would just use the white of the canvas, and it's like you don't realize how much is or isn't actually being put down until you actually have a color behind it. So like, small tip for anyone who's getting into digital coloring: definitely have a base background. I like using blue. Unless, of course, your character has blue skin, then you might want to switch that up. Oh ho ho. I could tweak the color values a bit if I wanted to. Hit save first. Save. I could tweak the color values a little bit because he does have a bit of a clay look to him. But it looks good. Yeah, this cross hatching with flat color. If I wanted to, I could do very light blending. Like I could use the pencil tool on the edge of all my flat colors to kind of give it that slight soft blend. But like as it is, especially this, like I ended up giving him more his gaps where all the veins and tubing meet gave him like lots of holes in his body, which wasn't part of it, but it definitely works. It works for the creep factor. I'm drinking really watered down lemon tea, like lemon iced tea, that is. Alright, where were we? Here we go. Let's do the neck. Let's do all the skin tone, then we'll go back for like I said, the fingers and everything. I'm looking at this right here, these shadows right here, and it's kind of fun because it ends up giving like a skull face, like hidden skull faces. Think about that. If you have a character that's like just full of holes, like those creepy frogs. There's a word for it. The fear of like holes. But I think any organic creature, any living creature with holes in their body, it's gonna creep you out no matter what. But I think that's like a good way to hide like skull patterns in the design. Okay, now, once again, people on Instagram can't hear it, but now we're getting like real like Halloween spooky music playing over on the Twitch stream. Oh yeah, which song is this? Hold on. It's called Another Planet. That's the kind of like old school sci-fi, like the synthesized horror music. I love it. Once again, let's clean up some edges. Yeah, I wouldn't mind, like, just a little, I feel even with what I've learned, I might, like, if I was to make this arm, I'd probably still approach it the old school way I did it, with sofa foam and, like, mold builder latex, not mass latex, like mold builder, because it has, it's a thicker material, so it latches onto stuff a bit better. Like it latches onto like a hemp or mesh material. Like I feel like I still probably wouldn't do this as a latex prosthetic. I feel like I would still approach this if it would forbid my old B movie uh, feel. Yes. Holy man. Holy rusted. Was it? Holy rusted metal Batman. He goes, what? Goes the ground. It's made of metal and full of holes. You know, holy. This seems like a good color. This is a whitish yellow. I didn't want to make it a tannish white color. Still a bit light. You know what? We'll go with this color as a base, and then I'll lighten it up. I don't think I'll do a dark shade. I think I'll do the base shade, let the cross hatching be the dark shade. And then I'll go in there with like a reflective lighter color, just like a white shine on it. Yes, that's a long fingernail, I know. The shading direction, by the way, for the detail, the front of the arm we have here, is not the same as this guy. Like this guy, light's coming down this way. This one, the light's a bit more angled like that. No big deal. Still works. I just realized I forgot to turn off the freaking... Once again, forgot to turn off the eye protection. Now that I've done that, let's see how our skin tone looks. Because everything was tinted yellow because of the eye protection on the computer. And that looks really good. More like a bronze god, if you would. Not sickly pale, just a man with a tan. Check the Instagram. The Instagram is catching the height of my computer screen. It's not catching the width, obviously. Give me a second. Checking the chat right now. Boo. I tell my friend Joe. I tell Pretorius Rex. when he names his characters or locations, it sits in that weird space between like 90s extreme, where if the guy has a hammer for a hand, his name is like Hammer Fist, or like something like something like that matches that, like another word for a fist or another word for a hammer, and dad joke, like it lands in that sweet spot. He sends me a freaking. I'm saying this for the people on Instagram, by the way. In the chat, he says, just like After the Grouch, always looking a little pale, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. I like this. I'm very happy with it. And we're gonna save. Oh, 9:14 already. Jeez, we jumped in at like what, 8:15? 8:15. I'm gonna take a minute, take a semi-break. We got more people showing up in the Instagram chat. Thank you everyone for jumping in. Sending out waves to all you good people. So I'm gonna take a minute, and I'm gonna show you something really weird. So I don't know if it'll show up on both cameras. So first on the Instagram, it's not showing up on the stream. What I'm holding here, so Instagram can take a look at it. I'm going to now show it on the main stream. So what I'm holding here is essentially a Halloween skull. Now, if anyone watched my, if anyone's been following me on Instagram or on Twitter, you know I did a sculpting project in which I did a human head with bat wings coming out of it on a small scale that would then be blown up on screen to a large scale. So I used one of these Halloween skulls as the understructure, because I bought like 3 of these like 4 years back or whatever, because I was like, hey, those are really good like skulls for like super cheap, like really good in terms of anatomy. So this is the last skull I have that's fully intact. The skull used in the sculpture, the bottom jaw got lost. So what I'm doing is I'm slowly covering this in Mold Builder, which is a latex mold, but it's a painting mold, which means you have to paint it, let it dry, paint it, let it dry, which is why it looks like it's covered in freaking mayonnaise right now. Yes, I'm saying mayonnaise. If you think it's covered in something else, that's on you. But it's basically a rubber latex. So I'm going to do several layers on this skull as it sits on this wooden plank. I'm then going to use plaster bandages to do an outer structure. There's a word for that. I'm sure Katorius Rex can give me the word for that. When you have the mold, and then you have the outer mold, like to hold the shape of the rubber latex. Because what I want to do is get a really simple, doesn't need to be super detailed, mold of this skull, right? And then I could use it to mass produce foam skulls. Like I could just take expandable foam from a hardware store, spray it inside the mold, let it dry, pop it out, and I'll have a bunch of cheap foam understructures for future small sculptures, or maquettes as people call them. So I've been meaning to, like, if I could get this, a few more layers of Mold Builder on this, and then I'm gonna just start pumping out a bunch of like foam heads that could then be used to sculpt stuff in the future. Oh, I just whacked one of my cameras. So this was something I was doing. This was like a project I started yesterday. Just paint the layer, let it dry, paint it and let it dry. It's time consuming, but it works. Mold Builder is actually a pretty good material. It just takes time. And it's taking extra time because my Mold Builder, I bought it a while back and I didn't use it. And it's starting to go, like, sort of semi-drying. So when I opened the container, rather than having this material I could paint with, it was like curdled milk. It was like the latex was there, but it was like starting to harden slightly. So, yeah, it's fighting me. But I could just, it's like plaster. I have to, like, really smush it out. But yeah, that's that. Cradle mold. See, I told you Rex knew what he was talking about. Yeah, cradle mold. Because sometimes you have a latex mold that's not like a solid block. It's just painted on, so it's like flimsy, like a skin layer, and you need a plaster layer around it. So that was that project. Okay. I'm gonna cover the Instagram camera just for a moment because I'm going through my files and my own personal stuff because the people over on Twitch can't see that anyway. I'm opening up some new files and we're gonna put out another. Let's put out another old monster sketch. See if we could draw something we haven't done yet. What haven't we done yet? I feel. Man, I wish I found those drawings. You know what? Let's do this guy. Bam, baby. Okay. So this was actually a long, long time ago. This guy was going to be the main antagonist for part of the story. Because the true antagonists are like, otherworldly beings beyond our comprehension. But they're lackeys, if you would. Or their most watered down state are kind of zombie/demonic possessed people. Just people whose bodies are falling apart as they're possessed by greater creatures. That's what the story's about. The key is about just like these greater creatures who wish to enter our world but do so by possessing people, and the people just begin like breaking down and twisting and turning. It's a horror show. This guy was the first concept I did. In terms of like, I want a villain. I need someone to be villanesque. Give me a second. Let's make that 5 inches. That's about right. Let's make that 7 inches. I'm just adjusting the canvas size. Perfect. Bam. So he was gonna be this kind of design. I mean, the human face doesn't really matter. The little bit of human face he has doesn't matter. But it was like, he's basically just like, all his skin's ripped off except for like 1/3 of his face. And that was the design I was going for. Kind of like Evil Ash. How Evil Ash's bottom jaw is completely rotted away because he got it shot off by good guy Ash. There's the influence again. So this was the guy. This was our villain at one point. Okay, so once again, lock that, new layer. God, that music is way. You know what? Trying to find music that matches. It's all way too much. Let's just have some basic, chill ambiance. Jesus Christ, this music was way too much. There we go. Got some blue. And then an ink layer. So fun fact. The personality for this guy. I wanted him to be like, he is a villain. He is a bad guy. He is monstrous. He is extremely short-tempered. But he's also kind of whiny because things don't go his way. The concept for this villain, like his personality was essentially Biff Tannen from Back to the Future. Just like, what's going on here? Like he's just always stressed. And like his voice cracks constantly. Like he's meant to be like just really angry guy, but he's a bit of a buffoon. So he's a threat, but he's a threat who's like just doesn't got his shit together. He does not have it together. And that was like the idea for this guy when I first came up with him. Let's do the face. Then we'll do. I've always liked that arm. It's such a simple arm. I've always liked it. Like this is a gooey man. This is like a little bit of a, what was it? Tall monster, the tall man, or whatever it was. Just a pinch of tall man. Okay, so let's at least define what a skin is. So here's our skin. Like I want to keep the eyebrows and the nose because because I want him to have like if it was a guy in a costume, I wanted him to have like you know, you would see his emotion because he crunches up his eyebrows and he pinches his nose angrily. For now, we give him a curving bridge. He has like a defined like almost beak curving bridge for now. Then the skin breaks away from the mouth. It's on one side. The skin's all on one side. Kind of like Harvey Dent. I'm doing an angry face as I'm drawing him, trying to get the essence of the character. Big bushy eyebrows, freaking like Jack Kirby looking eyebrows. He is the king after all. Then he has a bony skull. So it's skin, skull, and then it kind of gives way to like all the flesh on the back of the head and just like dribble coming down the chin. Yeah, a little bit metallo. Yeah, definitely like a little has that metallo feel to him. He also has these nondescript like tendons on the chin, which is funny because not the chin, the cheeks, because the cheeks are just skin. The cheeks are just skin, but I wanted to have like these weird tendons. I think for this I'll just shade it right in there right now. Really prominent, like black around the edges, like really prominent teeth. And then just a dribble coming off the chin. Which, what they call it secondary movement. When you make a puppet, the Jim Henson Company was always known for like giving them antennas, giving them like fur, because you want that secondary movement. So even when the puppet's staying still, there's like a wiggle to it. It has like a life to it. He does have an ear. Make it a lot easier for the actor if the ear is present. It is kind of droopy. It's all like chewed up and everything. But he has an ear, so the actor doesn't have to like wear extra makeup on that. And then the rest, oh yeah, he does have skin on one side of his head, so you get to have some fun hair, a nice little hair poof. And once again, if you give him like long hair, as he moves his head back and forth, you can have the hair poofing back and forth. It's kind of shaking. All the little, like I want this guy to like, as he moves around and shakes his head back and forth, everything's just freaking wiggling on him. So yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, and then the rest is just like skin. I would need to find an actual anatomy book on skin of the face and skull. But I'm not going to. Not now. Just going to fudge it in the meantime. I believe I actually have an anatomy book. I believe I have a book that shows just enough anatomy that'll, you know, it'll come in handy. I just don't know where it's at right now. Like, I think it was a book for, like, makeup, special effect makeup. And, I think it kind of... And also, I'm just making up stuff for, like, his Adam's apple. Just this spongy thing with dots on it. I don't know why I'm doing that. I am just doing it. I need to actually bring that in. The back of his head needs to be brought in more because he's missing his hair and his skin. So the back of the head, it's literally, what's it called, flush with the bone. So I don't need to bring it out as much. I need to bring it like this. Once again, I might go back and like really like do some better detailing on the anatomy of the muscles. For now, it's just that. He's not having a good day. Foul, save as, people, save as. We'll call him, what should we call him? Call him Goon for now. Why not? Goon. Save that as a Clip Studio picture. Save. There we go. That is Goon so far. You know, thinking of, once again, Evil Dead, Sam Raimi stuff. Yes, there is a little bit of Darkman inspiration in this. How can you tell? So originally part of me wanted to make him a cop originally. Like he was a cop. Um, Not as a negative statement, but as a kind of sad statement because originally I wanted him to be like just, you know, he shows up in the scene. He's a cop. He's doing his job. He's a good guy. He's just doing his job. That's it. And then all hell, metaphorically and literally, breaks loose, and he gets transformed into the villain. Um, but since I have ideas for future stories, I might not do that. And I'm thinking, why not just make him an asshole to begin with? And I was thinking, make him like a militant kind of dude, because I don't have it here, but in one of the drawings I have, he's wearing military pants and like a wife beater. That's all he has on, big old boots. And like, why not make him like this military guy, who's like out there screaming at like regular men and women on the street, just screaming at them and yelling at them about like how it's their fault the world's gone the way it has. He has no idea who these people are. He just wants to yell at people. You know how it is. Just someone who needs to yell because they want to feel like they're right about something, rather than talk about it. They want to yell about it. And I said, yeah, why not make him just an asshole to begin with, so like you could kill him off and not have to feel bad about it. And there's nothing wrong with the military, for crying out loud. I got plenty of family who's in the military. I'm talking about like extremist. That's what he is. He's an extremist who wears military garb as if, to make himself feel bigger than he actually is. That's what he is. He's an extremist. He's just an asshole who shows up, gets possessed, and then ends up becoming the villain. No. Do not start cross-hatching yet, Dante. Get all this inking done. Get the main thing done, Dante. Then you can start cross-hatching. So you have big nondescript, like blackened veins that are just like on the muscles and muscular detail. So like there's no giant vein that big on the shoulder, but he has one. Everything's just like messed up. The body, like they're not zombies. They are demonic forces are just keeping whatever body they're in going, while they're wreaking havoc everywhere. That's the idea. Sadly, this is a story that has a lot of character stuff, but I need to focus on like it's hard. I need to really like flush out the actual like story arc. Like I have like vignettes to help understand like the character and the main personalities. I don't have like a typical 3-act story set up yet. I don't. I should. I don't. Yeah, like these slick, greasy kind of veins. Like, what are they? Once again, they're less veins and more just like giant tubing, if that makes sense. And then you have like this mass of like charred flesh hanging off right here. He has skin on his wrist. If this was a costume, this would be a great way to hide the seam between the gloved hand and the rest of the body. Like, you know, the forearm is a prop. Like, you know, like a giant sleeve, and then you can have a gloved hand, and then you can just pull this latex hanging skin right over it too, and there you go. Form and function, people. Has holes in it. Issue with doing, at least for me right now, the issue of doing like this simple semi-cross pattern for the muscle is that yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna actually do like heavy cross hatching on this. I don't know if we'll just like get lost in it. We'll see. Like this right here isn't really meant to be cross hatching. It's just meant to be like the gooey mesh, if you would, that makes up this thing that's like stretching on his arm. This weird misshapen shoulder. It's like this. The muscles are like bent. The muscles are like bending outward, like reverse arching. Then just really weird, like screwed up looking finger, like bony fingertips. Not much real detail here. Battery low. Why is my phone not charging? This particular charging cord is so freaking temperamental. Alright, I'm gonna do a switch. Sorry guys, just fiddling with the Instagram feed. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna hopefully finish this up in the next like 15 minutes or so. Because I had to unplug my secondary device in order to charge my phone, which for some reason wasn't charging. I bought this long extended charging cord, and it just, I don't know, it just ends up freaking like dying. Like sometimes the phone will connect to it and sometimes it won't. Okay. Let's do a little bit of cross hatching wherever we can. Let's start with the face. Let's do lighting from his from his good side. Let's do lighting from the skull side. That way I could just, you know, do heavy shadows only on a portion of it. I don't need to go crazy. Okay. Okay. Let me combine. Give me a second. I'm going to combine the shading and why is it won't let me. I'm going to combine the shading and the ink layer together. And then we're going to go ahead and then drop some basic color. Let's let me grab that white, that grayish white from the bone here. Put that in the bone over here. This is a kind of thing where I'm like, I'm not sure how much of this would be a full mask. Like, would you try and keep as much of the human face as possible, except for the eye area, of course? Or would this be a full-on, like, mask if it was a prop? Yeah, I'm not sure how much of this is skin. I think this is all skin, like, dripping off the side of his face. Yeah, that bone looks a bit too pink. Needs to be a bit more whitish. Kind of just moving quick here. I want to get this part in and out real quick. Fix the bone over here. bone over here. Grab that skin tone again. Yeah, the hand is a mess of just like, cause you know, actual hands are like barely, you know, you got your muscles and your tendons, but it's a very, you know, literal skin and bone. I should know. I've cut my knuckle once or twice. That's kind of the mess it has there. Then it becomes skin over here again that kind of just droops off. So, fun things. I've always imagined. Nope, that's good. Let's go for more yellow. I've always imagined the Adam's apple just being this yellow piece right here. Or Adam's apple cartilage? I don't know. Or Adam's apple's cartilage. Fun fact, I've always imagined this being like a greasy green color. Whatever this is holding his jaw together, it's like this greasy green kind of tendon holding it, just barely holding stuff together. It's also here on the edge of the skin. Could be like a rot. Yeah, it's definitely like a rot almost. Let's go gangrene. That's the word I'm thinking of. Gangrene. Got the ear. Right now we're sticking with one color, guys. I want to get through this and then head to bed. 10:30ish, I guess. Right now we're just sticking with the one color. We're not going to do shading, really. Just a bit of a layout. What I'm aiming for. Okay, now we need a tone of red that's not egregious. There we go. That seems like a good color. It's like a brownish red, like a warm tomato kind of red. Ketchup red. There we go. Duh. Ketchup. Yeah, I think that we'll call it fat and or cartilage yellow for the Adam's apple. Actually complements this red very well. That definitely works. And he's not bloodied. Like, he has all this, like, he has a little bit of rot. He has like all this gore showing, but he's not bloodied, which is like the interesting part of it. Obviously, if it was makeup, you would add some pinks around the bone, to indicate like that the bone was alive at one point. But he's not just like a bloodied mess walking around. If this was a film, the actor's already covered in God knows how much latex. You don't need to like hose him down in blood. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you do. Just a little bit. Fun fact. Was it? Okay, you had Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, then Day of the Dead. I think it was Day of the Dead. Um, where they're held up in a military base underground, trying to like, oh, they think the scientist is looking for a way to cure the disease, the zombie disease, but in truth, he's just really enamored with how it works. So he's more busy doing like funny experiments as opposed to actually, trying to save people. And in that one, I remember reading an article that they used actual like animal intestines for many of the scenes, but the fridge they were supposed to hold them in broke down. So you have this scene of all these actors showing up, where they have to basically the zombie actors have to rip apart like pig intestine and cow intestine that was meant to be in a fridge, and it was all just rotting. It's just going bad. Great film, horrible conditions, but you suffer for your art, as they say. A bit mustardy, but for the base color it works. You heard me, I said mustardy, a bit ketchupy. Ketchup and mustard, it's both. Totally interchangeable, of course. Note to self, restock fridge with honey mustard. Let's grab that green again. And let's use that as the highlight on this slick material. Yeah, that works. That looks nice. Maybe take some of this cartilage yellow, put it like right there on the edge of the bone. Yes. Okay. Quick clean, come on. Let's hustle, people, hustle. No, clean up. Also need to fill in some of these gaps with the colors. Come on. There we go. Yeah, so quick clean on the edges. We're not adding secondary colors, we're just adding flat colors to get like a general palette. Okay, I mentioned earlier that this character is kind of, like, his personality was kind of influenced by the acting of Biff Tannen. But you know what it really is? It's not the first Biff from the first movie. It's the cowboy interpretation. Mad Dog Tannen. That's what this guy is. Just this violent, drooling kind of character who's also just like a buffoon, but still a threat because of his violent tendencies. That's the personality this actor has. Like I would tell someone, like, if you're gonna play the role, you know, I want you to kind of emulate that attitude. Obviously, actors, you know, you hire an actor to act. You don't hire an actor to imitate another actor, unless that's the whole joke. But yeah, that's what I was going for with this. All right, last but not least, give me a good brown tone. Give me a good brown tone. Screw it. I'll just go for. Let's go for gray. For now, it's a bluish gray. For now, just to differentiate the colors a bit. But he has a old man gray, but this is from the blue spectrum, so it's no, it's not just black and white gray. Making funny faces because as I'm coloring, I'm thinking about like 5 different things. Forgive me. You know, they say the Disney artists when they used, and I'm sure I'm sure a lot of animators, Disney animators, there we go, not just the artists but the animators, would have mirrors in front of them. They'll do the expressions themselves sometimes to get like what they're aiming for. Oh, here's this song again from the Chill soundtrack. Ugh. Nope, that's the wrong one. Wrong button, people. Just a villain with like freaking bushy eyebrows. Who's not like an old man. Like a young villain who's like, I don't know, 30 something or, you know, 20s and 30s who's like with freaking Jack Kirby looking eyebrows. Just, there's something so silly about it. I love it. And almost. I'm gonna spread the love with this color. Just kind of like where you would expect to see a little bit of fat and or cartilage. Well, not cartilage, I guess it's more like fat. Where the muscles meet the bones sometimes. Just to break it up a little bit. Break up that freaking ketchup color. How long is this damn song? Skip. There we go. Christ. That song is so... I don't like that song. It's so weird. That definitely helps. It breaks it all up. Alright. center this a bit. And we're gonna hit save on that. So we did the Fang arm. I should call it Fang fingers. We got Fang fingers. We got the Fang arm. This one I'm really happy with. Like, I'm happy at this. All the little nooks and crannies where the tubing connects to the skin. This I like. I like it so much. So that is really nice. And then we have like the basic anatomy, if you would, for Goon. Call him Goon for now. Just like you keep the eyebrows. I guess you keep one eyebrow. The other eyebrow you have to like make up it over the skull. But you keep the eyebrows. You keep the nose. So the nose ridge, so he wrinkles his nose. And yeah, we have just enough. Like and you know, the chin shakes. The hair is a mess. His arm is covered in slime. So like even if he can't emote with his mouth, he just moves around. Definite like evil Ash vibes. Hey Red Spectra just popped over on Instagram. Check out Red Spectra's Instagram. He does a lot of he's slowly creeping his way through like a number of retro games. So if you like retro games, games that were strictly like Japanese releases for the old Famicom and stuff like that, check him out. He's really good. I think we are done. It is 10:13. We have done exactly 2 hours. I'm okay with the way this guy looks. I'm gonna make sure he's saved. He's saved. Is he saved? Yes. I'm okay with the way this guy looks. I just wanted to like, you know how it is. Sometimes you feel better with the pencil sketch than you do of the actual drawing. But he was a character. He needed to like. He needed to be done. He had to be done. And I realized one eyebrow is higher than the other. I should like give him, both eyes should be angry eyes. I can fix that later. But when it comes to like, save. But when it comes to like concept of like creature building, I like this one a lot. I think this one came out really good. Once again, we did more cross hatching with this. This was more like working on the fine details of cross hatching. And yeah, I think it looks awesome. You might think it doesn't. Your opinion does not matter to me. I think we're gonna finish it up there, guys. So I want to say thank you to, as always, Cryptorius Rex, my good friend Joe. Check out his Instagram and check out his now slowly but growing YouTube channel, Cryptorius Rex. Everyone on Instagram who popped in, thank you very much. We had like 4 people pop in: Emerald Pearl, the Orc, Red Spectra, everyone who popped in, thank you very much. And I think we're gonna end it there. So once again, guys, I am Dante. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the future. Later.